Hey, how's it going? Today I am talking about what should you actually do in the off season if you're injury prone. This is Running to the Castle, a podcast for injury-prone Run Disney runners on a journey to running magical miles. Join me, Dr. Allie, as I share the secrets I've gathered as a runner, doctor of physical therapy, and coach. You'll learn the exact ways I get my clients to the castle strong without feeling broken or held together with KT tape as they cross the finish line. Okay, so today I'm talking about what you should actually be doing in the off season. And when I say off season, I mean non-training season. So that off season for Run Disney runners, if you've done Springtime Surprise, but you're starting back up with Disneyland Halloween, your off season is May, possibly a few weeks in June, depending on the distance that you're doing at Halloween. So that's the time period where you're not actively training for any race. And so I choose that time frame specifically because like the training plans that I write for my clients for the half marathon and 2-course challenge for Halloween, that starts in June. So if you did Springtime Surprise, that's obviously ending April 21st. So you have, a week and a couple of days in April, all of May, and maybe a couple of days in June. I honestly can't remember if my training plan starts June 1st or June 8th. So you have, let's call it 6 weeks in the off season. If you didn't do Springtime Surprise, your off season started right after Princess. So your off season may be a different time frame than somebody else, but the off season is the ideal time for you to focus on strength training, especially if you're prone to injuries, struggled with injuries all during your last Run Disney season. This is the time to focus on strength exercises. So I know you've seen it. I see it all the time that people will recommend other Run Disney runners will recommend that you need strength exercises to heal your injury, to not have an injury, to be a stronger runner, to feel better, so on and so forth. Most of the recommendations will have something to do with strength training. Yes, and so strength training is so important. The one mistake I find the majority of Run Disney runners do is that they focus on strength training at the wrong time. So yes, you should be strength training throughout all of your training, but when you're training for a race, that is not the time to try something new, try something significantly heavier, and change up your whole plan. Trying something new, trying something significantly heavier, or really focusing on heavy duty weightlifting, that should be done in the off season. And then you're doing maintenance strength training during the training phase of your Run Disney season. So if you have seen my little Minnie Mouse ears with the polka dots, you have seen the phases of a running journey: rest and recovery, build, train, taper, and race. So the off season is what I call the build phase. This is the time to build strength and build base miles. Okay, so we're talking keeping things low level on the actual running and building miles from 0 up to the base level for training plans, which for most training plans that I see out there, it's anywhere between 3 to 4 miles. My training plans start with the assumption that you can run a 5K. So that's 3.1 miles. So that anywhere between that and 4 miles is what I recommend my clients have as a baseline, because they can jump into any training plan for any of the distances from there. So whether you are maintaining that level, you can maintain it in the build phase. And the build phase then for that person will really be a focus on building strength. So that's what you should be working on in the off season. That's when your primary focus is strength exercises. but what do you actually do for it? So if you've never strength trained before, I highly recommend working with a professional because you can do it wrong. You can cause other problems. You want good quality movements, quality over quantity. You want good posture, alignment, movement, as opposed to doing a lot of crummy movement. So I would rather a client do 5 really good squats than do 30 really crappy looking squats and potentially worsen an injury, cause a new injury from the repetitive nature of doing the wrong thing. That's the main aspect of overuse, repetition caused injury. So quality over quantity. But what exactly do you do? I am not going to sit here and tell you you need to do this exercise and this one and this one and this one, because it really is based on the person, your history with strength training, your history with injuries, your history with running. And I go through all of this with my clients to know exactly what they should be doing. And you should have different levels of things. So the levels I work with, level 1, 2, 3, and 4. Level 1 is the foundational, most basic strength exercises. Level 4 are highly advanced. And you should have a mix of a couple. So if you're brand new or you're struggling with a lot of pain, if brand new to strength training or struggling with a lot of pain, you're probably going to have a mix of level 1 and level 2. If you've been exercising, strength exercising for years, or you don't have a lot of pain and have been exercising for years, you're going to have a mixture probably of level 1 through 4. There's always room for the foundational stuff, and you can change where you're doing those exercises, in what order I mean, to make them harder. So maybe you're doing a level 1 exercise, but you do it after a bunch of level 4 exercises. That makes that level 1 exercise really hard because you're already tired. So there's different ways to do it. Another way that you can change up how tired you are is, should you work out before or after your run? So in the off season, because strength building is the priority, I recommend doing strength training before you run, especially if it doesn't matter what order to you that you do them. For me, if I don't get out and do my cardio first, if I don't go for a walk, if I don't go for a bike ride, if I don't go for a run, I'm not going to do that one. So I do it first, but that's just solely because if I don't do that first, I will end up doing something else, and then neither of them get done. So there's of course wiggle room, but if it doesn't matter to you what order you do them in, focus on the strength training first, because then you can put all of your energy and focus there where it should be during the build phase. And then you reverse that in the training phase. Okay? So you're looking at building strength and building base miles, pain-free base miles, because as always, pain does not have to be part of your journey. Pain is not a normal part of training for a running race. Soreness is, but pain is not. And there is a difference. And if you don't know that difference, please work with a professional, work with me, go find a physical therapist near you, work with a personal trainer, somebody who can help you decipher those different feelings that you're having, because pain, it's not no pain, no gain. I don't believe in that. You should not have significant amounts of pain. You should not have pain. Soreness is fine. Okay? So doing in the off season, working on strength building. As always, thanks so much for listening. If you're planning to run a runDisney race next year and you're injury prone and you want to cross the finish line next year, I invite you to join the interest list for Finish Line Academy. This is the only online group coaching program designed specifically for injury prone runDisney runners by a physical therapist. Find the link in the show notes. That's all for now. Talk to you soon.